Well, all right, y'all, this is the last handle repair I have in the shop right now, and I showed this one when I got it in. This gentleman said he's not in a big hurry, and it's been a while, and this is the last job, so let's get it done. All right, I've really studied and thought and looked at this thing, and this is the Patriot, and this is a handmade, hand scrimshawed big Bowie knife. It's very heavy. I happen to know how much this cost when he had it made. I think he said 20 or 25 years ago. Very, very expensive, high-end knife, and it is absolutely great. All right, once I get this fixed, I'm going to check with him and see. I think I would like to clean it up, polish it, polish everything in the sheath and the scabbard and all that, and see if he wants me to do that. Here's the problem. The Eagle had a crash. Now, determine what this is. Oh, and this handle's not going to come off. No way. Because it is epoxied in. The way it was, that's a piece of threaded rod. Down. And this threaded on top of it, like that. And it must have took a bad blow here to break it like that. A really bad blow. I'm surprised the handle didn't shatter too. But I've got a plan on how I'm going to do it. First, I'm going to finish wrapping it up. I'm going to cover this. I already got the blade wrapped up. I don't want to take a chance on breaking it anymore, you know, the handle. That would not be a good thing. And before I actually start on it, I'm going to sit back and look at it one more time and make sure that's my game plan, what I want. How I want to go about it. This might look like overkill, but that's okay. Little piece up there, make sure that sticks to where it won't. And this painter's tape, it won't. Touches that bone a little bit, it won't hurt it. Alright, there we go. Alright, Mr. Eagle's gonna go step 2. Alright, let me look at it for a little bit more just to make sure that's what I'm going to do. Then I'll tell you what I'm going to do. And then I'll show you what I'm going to do. Alright, studied on it and studied on it. Ready to do it. Now, what I think, the way this is built, and I can't be for sure because I can't get in there to see it. Because like I said, this handle is epoxied in. Too much of a risk to try to get it off. So I have seen custom knife makers to make these big knives, and what they'll do, the tang comes up. This is what you would call a rat tail tang, because it's not a full tang. It is not a chopping knife. You're not supposed to chop firewood with these. That's just saying. Anyway, what they'll do, the tang of the knife will come up probably right in here somewhere, and they will take and weld a bolt onto it, or a piece of threaded rod, or I've even seen some done with rebar and then cut threads in it. But what I suspect on this one is there's a bolt welded on, because I can barely see down in there with my light, but I can see a little bit. I don't see any threads past this washer right here, so that tells me that is a bolt, and that bolt came up. And I've cleaned off this part here a little bit. Threads were cut in here, the rest of that bolt's inside there, and it was screwed down on there. Very good system, works very well to hold it on there, just like that, but not a firewood chopper. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drill into this bolt. Start with an 1/8 inch drill bit and drill down just a little bit. And I'll do the same thing here when I find the center of the bolt that was here. And I've got some 1/8 inch brass rod, and I've got some steel rod. I'm not sure what I'm going to use yet, probably brass. And I will cut some threads on that piece of brass rod, and then I'll tap threads here and here and screw it back together just like it was, and epoxy it here. That's a piece of micarta, black micarta spacer. Epoxy it there and a little bit here, and we don't want to get very much down in there if I can help it. A little bit to go down there, it won't hurt anything. So got a brand new 1/8 inch drill bit, new one because it's very, very sharp. I'm going to find the center the best I can. Looks to be right about there. Puts a little center punch mark there. I don't have a good way of clamping this in the drill press. That's the way I'd rather do it, but I don't have a clamp that will do that. So let's go. Okay. Okay, look about center. I think that is I measured it with 13/64 is what that is. See how far we are in there. Go a little bit deeper. Alright, that should be deep enough. Let's see. Yeah, that'll be plenty. Now, this one I can clamp into the drill press vise, or probably maybe the milling machine might be better. I'm just going to drill into that instead of trying to get it out. Getting it out may be a lot more trouble than it's worth. I can see it right there. Alright, let's go get this set up. We'll put it in the drill press. And take an 1/8 inch bit, and now we're not going all the way through. That was an option to go all the way through, and I don't want to do that. It won't never look right again, so let's go over there. I don't know how good you're gonna be able to see, but I taped up the eagle. I got it in the vise here. I'm just gonna hold it because we're not going all that deep in this one. Maybe not as deep as that one, because by the time we get our threaded piece in there, Loctite it in, it'll be fine. It don't have to be all that deep, because I don't want to run the risk of going all the way through. So here we go. I've got the center located, I think. Okay, where that broke off in there was just barely there. We're already into the brass, which that's fine. That's something you don't want hear your doctor say. Whoops. All right, there we go. That's plenty deep. Now let's take it all back over there and see what the next step's going to be. All right, got my little cheapo Chinese tap set. Maybe we can get it to work. Like I mentioned before, this is one tool I really need a good set, but I don't need it all the time. But when you need it, you need it. So, see if we can make it work. Really careful not not break it off in there. Get it started. And this is real tedious, so I'm gonna turn the camera off, and that way, in case I break something, like always, you won't hear me screaming. Success. We got some threads cut there. A tap there, I mean. Cut, tap, whatever. I'm not a machinist. I don't know what y'all call that. Alright, now this is pretty soft brass material right here, so these will cut much easier. That eagle won't like me messing with him. I think that's the bottom of the hole. You don't want to force it. Alright, now let's get our brass material and see if we can put some threads on it. Y'all, this is nerve-wracking. To me, this is nerve-wracking. Alright, here's our rod, our brass rod. And of course it's positioned right there where I can't see it. I got the wrong die in there, of course. Let me get set up and going again and I'll show y'all what I'm doing. This is frustrating. It makes a racket, don't it? Now the die's going straight. This handle is all wonky. That's why it looks like it's running off. Even if it is a little bit, it's cutting nice threads. It should be fine. Sound like aliens are coming, don't it? Okay, let me get these cut and we'll give it a test to make sure it's going to fit okay. Alright y'all, it's giving me a fit. I mean to tell you a fit, but got it dry fitted. I think I got it. Now the brass screw thing that I made didn't work out. I don't think it's not big enough. I don't think that's going to be strong enough. So I found some stainless steel machine screws, much bigger. And I finally got one fit in here. When I tighten it down, I've got the tiniest gap in between. See, there's a stud in right there. And that actually fits down in there. But there's a tiny gap right here. Now this is black micarta spacer. And I just happen to have a scrap piece. Don't throw anything away, ever. So we're going to cut one, and that'll cover it up just right. So I'm going to trace this out, cut one, drill it, and epoxy it down. I've already got Loctite in here, poor man's Loctite, which is super glue. That ain't gonna come out. And I'll do the same in here, and we'll put some epoxy around here when we put it all together, and I think we'll be in good shape. So let's do that next. Let's cut this out. I keep stopping and sitting back and looking at this and looking at it. This is gonna work just fine. I just don't want that gap in between there, and I don't want to use epoxy to fill it because that just wouldn't be right. We're gonna do it right. All right, let's trim off this piece of micarta here. Want it flush with the handle. but I don't want to touch the handle either. We'll cut it down to size with the file, and I'll take some sandpaper and go back around and smooth it. Then we'll be ready to put the eagle back on. And this is a very, very sharp file. It's plain old metal file. Just like that. Just takes a little time. You gotta be careful with it. Keep it at an angle. Go back with some sandpaper. Clean everything up. Alright, and we flip it over. Do the same thing on the other side. Get this all nice and clean. And we'll be ready for some epoxy. And there we go. Alright, got everything flushed off, sanded flush. That all cleaned off. Let's get that wiped down a little bit. There we go. Now we're going to mix up some epoxy and coat it and screw it back down on there. Now I'm going to leave my alcohol open rag right there, so anything that seeps over I can wipe it off pretty quick. Now we don't need much. A little bit. A little bit of resin. A little bit of hardener. That should be more than enough right there. It's always better to have more than not enough, that's for sure. Do the mix. I'm just going to put it on this one side and then tighten that side down to it. Okay, coat the threads too. And this is never going to come off. We hope. As long as somebody don't chop firewood with it again. In all seriousness, this here knife, do what you want, but I would not if it was me. Okay, get it screwed down on here. We're tight right there. Just line it up. I did triple check to make sure we're at the blade side here. Okay, that's tight. And that's about straight, just like that. Make sure we get any epoxy that might have dripped out. No gap. We can see that black micarta spacer in there just like it was when it was built. And there we go. Double check. Yep, that looks good, just like that. Now we'll give that a couple hours to dry. Get it all unwrapped. And let me message Mr. Allen and make sure I got permission to give it a good clean up, because it really needs it. Won't take long. It'll take just about 30 minutes or so. Polish this brass back up, clean that blade, polish it up a little bit. It's still good and sharp. Nothing wrong with the blade. I like it when a plan comes together, don't y'all? I'll say it one more time. That give me a fit, but I'm very, very concerned about it because of what it is and how expensive it is, and it really makes me happy that somebody trusts me with something like this to work on. All right, we'll see it again here in a little bit. Y'all, I got to take a break. All right, we got this top part unwrapped. Everything is just fine. Now, I talked to the owner. Very, very nice guy. Mr. Burke, I appreciate you letting me do this, trusting me with it. And I'll talk a little bit more about it when we get all done with the polishing. But this is by far the nicest, most expensive knife that's ever been in this shop. And that's saying something, because I've had some really nice stuff in here. I've made some pretty nice stuff, but this is different, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But all right, where's my vets out there? Where's my brothers? Y'all know what this is. We're going to give it a polish and a clean up right quick. This used to come in a metal can. Nowadays it comes in a plastic jug things. That should be plenty right there. Now I'm just going to do this by hand. Polish it up a little bit. Make it look a little nicer. Especially with me handling it and fingerprints all over it and all that. But alright, that's all it takes, is a little bit of hand rubbing like that, and we'll see it again here in a little bit when I get done. Well, alright y'all, we're just about finished. Got the brass polished up. Now we're going to clean the blade off real good. Not going to really polish it because he wants a antique type look. But this thing it's really dirty over the years. I'm just going to clean it good. Alcohol, 90% rubbing alcohol. It's got some dirt and stuff on it, which after 25 years it will. Not sure what that is there. Now I don't know what kind of steel this is. I'm thinking it's stainless. because there's no patina on it. Not much, but not really sure. The knife maker that made this is probably passed on by now. But whoever he was a great knife builder. I'll keep saying it, this is the nicest thing that I've had in the shop. Very cool, very nice. Now we'll just leave that there. We're not gonna, I don't want to put it on the buffer or anything like that, so we'll clean it, get the dirt off of it. Like that. Now, like I said before, the blades, the edge is very good shape. It's still sharp. Hang on, moving the camera. All I want to do is take and run over the strop a couple of times. That's a beast, right? I'm telling you. Very heavy. That's all it needs right there. Just fine, just like that. Now, last step. Yes, I know. Be there in a minute. Last step. I'm gonna put just a very light coat of oil on it. So like that. Doesn't need a whole lot. Has a nice old antique look to it. Maybe it's not stainless, I don't know. I really don't know. There's no way to check on this one, but there we go. Scabbard that came with it. Got it polished up. I'm going to condition this leather just a little bit, then we'll take a final look. So this is leather conditioner. Similar, it's not Armor All, but it's similar to Armor All type stuff you'd put on vinyl. It's made especially for leather. Just a cleaner. Cleans and conditions a little bit. Keeps it moist. Just like that. See, get a little bit of dirt off of there. Like that. Alright, y'all, let's take a final look. All finished. Patriot is done. Is that not the most beautiful scrimshaw you ever saw? That's fine right there. That's all done by hand. Not by me. No. And I've said it before, this is the nicest knife I've ever had in the shop and the most expensive. Up there it is. Now the eagle had fallen, but the eagle is standing tall. I know it's corny, but it's pretty cool. All fixed. And I was terrified of breaking this handle. That's a bone handle. And I was really terrified of breaking it. But everything came out good. The blade is clean. A little bit of oil. I didn't buff it because I left it antiqued like he wants it. There we go. Sheath is polished up. Leather is conditioned. And there it is. Now, thank you very much, Mr. Allen, for letting me do this. I've had this for a while. Did a lot of contemplating on how to do it and how to fix it. And it's ready now. I'll get it packed up and back on the way to you. Now this one's going all the way to Montana. A place I would dearly love to go. I was close one time. Almost got to go but didn't. But maybe one day. You never know. But there we go. All done. Thank y'all very much for watching. Thank you for your support. If you got repairs like this that you need done, contact information is down in the description box. Hit the thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. And I'll see y'all next time.